All right, guys, welcome to the DealMachine webinar tonight. We're here with Brent Daniels, our very special guest. How you doing, Brent?
I am amazing. I am telling you, DealMachine is changing lives. Let me tell you this right now. I'll tell you this. I had two guys in from Seattle into my office today to do a podcast for the Wholesaling Inc. podcast, and they have done hundreds of deals, okay? They have been doing it since 2013. They downloaded your app yesterday. Literally yesterday, driving around in Phoenix. They live in Seattle, but they want to use they want to test out Phoenix, and they were blown away. I'm talking about $1 million business professionals, like real wholesalers, like to the core. These guys are unbelievable, and they were blown away with DealMachine. I'm telling you, it is the most important app that real estate investor wholesalers need and need to implement and need to be serious about and need to put into their schedule and need to use. And that's just the first part though, guys, right? The first part is just getting the list. The first part is just building it up, getting all these distressed property owners. The second part is, how do you get them on to the first conversation? How do you reach out to them? How do you feel confident? Because when we start out in this business, that is the hardest thing. Number one, who do we talk to, right? I mean, let's be honest. I think that probably 70 to 80 to 90, upwards to 90% of the people that are on this, listening to this, watching this, have probably read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which was just like, boom, it like instantly makes your brain chemistry do something crazy, and all the synapses are firing, and all of a sudden that little pilot light that you have inside your belly just flames up, and you're like, I am gonna be a real estate investor, I'm gonna be financially free, I'm gonna own property, I'm gonna be incredible, this is life-changing, I don't have to be 9 to 5 working in a box, working on, working in this wheel every single day, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna have the freedom. But after you read the book, you're stuck with, well, what do I do now? Right? You know what I mean? Like, what do I do now? How do I find opportunities? How do I get into this? What is the first step? Well, the first step is to know who to talk to. All right. And that is the distressed property list. All right. You take every property in your entire market and you filter it down to that 6 to 10%. This is stats. This is national statistics. 6 to 10% of the market that is in distress. And you know, David, Hannah, Elise, and I know that 80% of brand new real estate wholesalers get their first deal from driving $4. So the impact that DealMachine has absolutely just been explosive. It has changed so many people's lives, and it is incredible. It literally takes all of that stuff that we used to have to do, driving around, taking a notepad, writing down the address, looking like a total creeper in every neighborhood, getting people chasing us down, knocking on our windows. No, we just click the app and we keep moving and we keep moving. And you can do it virtually. And it comes out with new and improved lists all the time. And it's absolutely incredible. So one is knowing who to go after. 2 is knowing how to communicate. What do you say to somebody? If you've never talked to a property owner or have never asked a stranger if you would consider an offer on your property, it is frightening. It is scary. Your hands start shaking. Your belly gets all watery. You get kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I don't want to screw it up, and I don't want to sound like a jerk, and I don't want to sound like an idiot, and all these things. So understanding what to say is absolutely critical. And the third part of it is having the confidence, having the certainty to have somebody sign an agreement with you that you know that you can complete, you can solve their problem, you can get them out of the situation that they're in. And that's really the first 3 steps that we have when we're starting out in our real estate journey. Because the fact is, David, there's 2 lives. We live 2 lives after we discover real estate investing. We live the life before real estate investing and the life after real estate investing. And it is a totally different life. And it is so amazing and it is so incredible, but it is a tough road, right? Smooth mountain, you can't climb a smooth mountain is a quote from Zig Ziglar. And I think it's absolutely true, but you got to put in the work. You got to put in the effort. And as long as you're going after the people that are truly in distress, truly motivated, truly have a problem in your market, then you can get out of the gates fast and start building up that confidence, building up that certainty so that you can go out and really provide an incredible value in your community. So yeah, I'm excited, as you can see, to be on here and talking to the 120 people that we have on here, which is absolutely incredible. So just to let you guys know, I love you all. This is a tiny, tiny, tiny niche. When I say I love you, I love you. I really love you. We are freaks. We're crazy. We're wild people. You talk to everybody at a family reunion or at Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever it is, and you start talking to them about real estate investing or wholesaling or this app called DealMachine, and you can literally see the moment when their eyes gloss over and they stop listening to the words coming out of your mouth because they have no idea what you're talking about. So everybody on here, we are such a small community. We're such a niche community. We're here. So let's all be successful. There's no competition, just collaboration.
Wow. Brent, what an intro. And thanks for sharing that story about your students that came. I think one of the cool things about knowing what to say and being able to reach out to them is calling is the fastest way as well. You don't have to wait for the mail to get there. And I'd love for you to tell everybody like how you even discovered these truths. Like how you didn't always know this stuff. How did you figure out real estate investing was the right path for you? And then how did you decide, what the best list was and what the best way to reach out was?
Well, it's real simple, David. I screwed up everything. I was so, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I instantly enrolled in real estate school. I wanted to get a license because I thought you needed to know everything, the ins and outs. You had to get a license to be able to get involved in real estate, which I found out it was completely untrue. But I got into that. I was a real estate agent for a while. It was cool. I got some experience, but I always knew that I wanted to be a real estate investor. I wanted to find the deals. It was really exciting to be able to find the deals. And so it took a lot. It took 2008 to totally crush me financially. Lost cars, lost houses, lost relationships, lost all of that. And I realized that the only thing that I can do to keep this real estate investing dream alive was I had to find opportunities. But I didn't have a budget. I didn't have a budget to send out mail that people were talking about, or at the time it was like those yellow letters, right? The handwritten yellow letters that you send out and you try to get people to call you. I didn't build up enough referrals where people were sending me opportunities because I was a cash buyer, because I didn't have any cash. So the only thing that I could do is go door to door. Right? I knew that investors wanted older houses and they wanted to renovate them. I knew that, right? So I went door to door until finally I found somebody that was nice to me. and they said they didn't want to sell the property, but they were a caretaker for a property down the street. And she said, let me call the owner. She lives in New York. She's 92 years old. And let me see if I can get permission to give you her phone number. And so she came back, little slip of paper. She gave it to me. I called the gal instantly, started pre-qualifying her, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But pre-qualified her, was understanding, trying to figure out what her situation was, if I was a good fit, and it ended up that I was. And that was my first deal that I did. But something sparked in me. It sparked in me that all you need is an address of an ugly house and a way to contact that owner. You needed an accurate phone number to get that, to make those pieces connect so that you could have the opportunity to bring your own skills, your own talent, your own voice into that relationship and see if you can solve the problem. And that's what I did. And I became fanatical, absolutely fanatical, crazy person about driving around, writing down addresses, getting the phone numbers for them, and calling people up. And I was hand dialing. And it literally changed my life. It literally changed everything going on in my life because I wasn't waiting around for deals. I wasn't spending a ton of money on marketing. I was going out being proactive every single day. And I will tell you, it is the God's honest truth that the best pillow in the world is exhaustion. And I'm telling you, I was exhausted over and over and over because I was calling and calling and calling and building up my endurance and building up my pipeline of leads. And then all of a sudden it started going, and it ended up building a $1 million business plus, and we've been there for the last 4 years. So it's been absolutely incredible. And it all came from being proactive. It all came from the switch of not just waiting around or hoping deals fell into our lap, but being absolutely proactive and going out every single day and trying to open up relationships by having conversations with distressed property owners. And I think that's the key. If anybody takes anything from this webinar training, it is the simple fact that the core, the heart, the foundation of your real estate business is finding deals. And the way to find deals is to consistently have quality conversations with distressed property owners. That's it. That's it. We're not building rockets, okay? We're not creating cures for anything. We are having quality conversations with distressed property owners on a consistent basis. You do that, I guarantee you 100% you will be successful. It's undefeated. It is flawless. That is how we build this thing up. So it's just about finding those properties. Using the DealMachine app makes it so easy. And then the second part is actually pressing that number that's right on your phone, right on your DealMachine app, and calling a distressed property owner. That's it. That's how you start this thing. That's how the momentum starts. That's how your confidence starts. That's how your endurance starts. That's how you start building up a pipeline of opportunities that starts changing your whole life, starts getting you out of your 9-to-5, starts getting you extra income when you're as a part-time hustle or whatever it is. That's how it starts, and then you get addicted to it. Then you become like a deal finding maniac, and it's incredible. It's an incredible life.
So one of the things that stood out to me was you're being proactive. You're not waiting for them to come to you, which I love. Then the second thing was you're real strong on saying you guarantee their success. Where do people go wrong? Because obviously a lot of people actually don't find that success. What are the pitfalls that they fall into?
The 3 P's and the 3 D's, all right? The 3 P's: procrastination, paralysis by analysis, and perfectionism, okay? The procrastination, that little thing inside you that's like, oh, you know what? I got the number in front of the house right now, but I'm gonna wait until I'm at home and I'm in my office at home, or I'm at a quiet place, and then I'm gonna make the call, and I'm gonna get pumped up, and I'm gonna get excited, and then I'm gonna make the call, right? You're just pushing it back, pushing back the action, because something in there is you're just not confident. You just feel like there's an excuse in there that's preventing you from taking action. So what I will say here is the number one thing, and it happened to me for a long, it was really tough to get over that hurdle, but I realized if I just, boom, called right then, not even think, just press the button, just press it. That was a win. It wasn't I think there's a misconception here that the only time you win in our business is when you post that check on Facebook and you're like, suck it, grandma, I told you this would work. You know what I mean? Or whatever else it is. It is, that's not the win. It starts with the little wins. That's why I'd like to issue, if I could here, David, a 1-call challenge to everybody on here that hasn't ever called a distressed property owner. All I want you to do, after you get off this, it's a little late, but whatever. Go driving, find an ugly house, and call the owner. I don't even care if they answer. Just press the button. Press it and just go. That's the one call. That's all I want you to do. That's the one little action that I want you to take, is just that one call. You want to go bananas with it? You're one of those super go-getters? Then do 5. Do 5 calls. I know that you're using the DealMachine app. You wouldn't be on here if you weren't using the DealMachine app. I guarantee you have 1 to 5 properties in there that you haven't called yet. What does it cost for them to get a number, David?
15 cents.
15 cents. I'm asking you to invest a low time, one time off. No, 15 cents to call somebody and to just get into motion. And all I want you to do is say, hi, give them their name. Hi, David. My name is Brent Daniels. I know this call is completely out of the blue, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on, and then just say that, okay? And if you really want to get into it, do you mind if I direct them to my website?
Please, please.
All right. Go to talktopeople.com, get the calling script. That'll give you a lot of confidence making those calls because it's going to tell you exactly what to say. Because the fact is, when you call somebody and you ask them if they would consider on an offer on their property, there's only 6 responses that they can give you. There's only 6. Yes, no, maybe, we're thinking about it in the future. How much will you give me? How'd you get my number? And who are you? That's it. That's all of them. That is all of the responses that you're going to get. So if you know how to respond to each one of those, you're going to feel a lot more confident making those calls. But if you don't get downloaded, if you don't get to that, just press it. That's all I want you to do. Just take that little tiny action. You're going to feel amazing doing it.
I love the 1-call challenge, and I wouldn't be mad if somebody wanted to do the 1-call challenge here on the webinar. With that being said, we're going to actually open it up to questions. And if you guys are asking a question in the chat, if it's about DealMachine, Elise is going to answer it there. If it's about wholesaling, we're going to bring you on live and we're going to get your question answered with Brent. So ask away.
Real quick, let me finish this. Let me wrap this up because I know that I'm going to go off. The 3 Ds: doubt, disappointment, right? Doubt, disappointment, and distraction. Those are the other 3s. There's the 3 Ps and the 3 Ds: doubt, disappointment, and distraction, procrastination, paralysis by analysis, and perfectionism. Now they are named. Those that may not be named are now named. So now you can pinpoint which one of those is the one that's holding you back. And we can start working on that.
Love it. It's really powerful to name something like that.
100%. Yeah. So are we waiting for oh, here we go.
Yep. Yeah, there's going to be a little pause there. And now we have Tyler. What's going on,
All
Tyler?
right, Tyler.
What's up, guys?
Where are you calling in from?
Austin, Texas.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah. Am I the only one jumping on here right now?
Yep. One at a time.
Oh, okay. Got you. Yeah. All right, man. TTP, man. It is so awesome to finally talk to you, man, and like be live with you. This is the first time for me. Like, it's an honor, man. I really appreciate everything that you do, and everybody else too. Like, you know, the DealMachine app is great. Thank you so much, Brent. Like, man, I've watched so many videos, like just from my very beginning when I started doing this, not even a year ago. I started with Max Maxwell, just watching YouTube, and I found you and jumped on, man, and like, the value that you give for anybody that just wants to get on YouTube and start doing stuff is truly a blessing, man. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you. That's incredible. Well, and tell me about your journey. I mean, you watched the videos. Now tell me about what happens next.
Yeah, man. So I started watching the videos, and like pretty much by piecing together like all the different YouTube videos and everything, I had a general idea of like some good action steps to take. So I basically, like, long story short, went to the pre-foreclosure list, got houses that were going on to foreclosure, and then skip traced them and reached out to a guy, just said, hey man, like, you know, what's going on here? And I called then a We Buy Houses sign on Craigslist because, you know, I was like, well, they said on these YouTube videos I can do that and get a cash buyer. So I'm trying to connect the pieces here. To talk to a really nice gentleman, ended up meeting him at the property from the We Buy Houses. He turns out to be like a big real estate investor here in Austin. And when we met at that property, we didn't do a deal on that property, but I made a relationship with him. And ever since then, me and him have been working together as partners, and I've done a few deals since then. And so it was, you know, it was just all from talking to people, man.
Wait, so you made a cold call to a distressed property owner, and then they said, yeah, come on over. And then you called on a sign, and that guy came over, and now you're doing deals.
Pretty much,
Come on, man. Hold on a second. Yes.
Yeah. So Yeah, that's where it all started, man. And like, just I'm always looking on YouTube for y'all's videos. I'm watching the wholesale hotline, man. Like you, Pace, like everybody. Like I'm part of the Wholesaling Inc.'s regular group, like with Cody.
Yep.
I joined that right after I did my first deal. So great coaching there, and like the whole group, man, the whole tribe, like, and then everybody that's connected with it, man. Like, truly feel honored to be a part of the whole deal.
Rhino Tribe. I love it, man. And listen, you are this is perfect because you are going out there and you're doing the work, man. You know what I mean? Like, are you doing this full time or is this part time, or like, talk to me about your schedule?
Full time, man.
Incredible.
Yeah. And so like, yeah, so I had a question. So, okay,
Yep.
so Monday morning I got up, fired up the DealMachine app, and I went to like smoking hot area here in Austin, man. I mean, there is just like the houses, the margins are crazy, you know, like for like little small houses, these, they're renovating them and selling them for like 450, 500 for just like a basic 3-2, you know, basic house. And it's just a very popular area. I go there and drove all of Monday morning with DealMachine. I'm just tapped the ad, boom, 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 boom. I'm just nailing all these houses. It's like I ended up with like 300 or so houses. Immediately went and skip traced them, and I started calling that day. And man, it was like seriously. I had some people tell me they said, yeah, I don't want to sell. Like they answer the phone saying, yeah, I don't want to sell. You know, like, and I'm like, just out of my curiosity, I'm like, how many of these calls? I talked to one guy who was a real dude, like meaning like he was nice enough that he would have a conversation with me and not just hang up on me. And I was like, seriously, man, on during the month, how many calls do you get from investors like us? Like, you know, just seriously, like, honestly, if you really could try to give me a good average. And he said about 15, like 12 to 15 calls probably a month on his property. Another girl said, she's like, I get calls every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so my question is like, there's some other areas I can go to for sure, but like, what do you have any advice? I know in Phoenix, there's got to be some areas that are probably like that with all these like, you know, wholesalers out there. Do you just like move on to some other areas and try to find like a different place, or is it just kind of just keep after it? Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, Tyler, a couple different things. One, I mean, you know as well as I do, you know, these deals come down to the timing, right? You know, I mean, you could call a list that's been called 15, 20 times that month, but if they're ready now, or if something happened in their life now, you get that deal. And if they're in the hottest areas, those deals are going to be bigger. So I don't want you to stop doing that, but yeah, you need to expand your market a bit. You need to get into the areas. You need to test different areas all the time to see where it's going. The cheese moves around, you know what I mean? And it just depends. I mean, obviously the timing, getting those deals, they're going to be fantastic, but expanding into other areas is going to help you out for sure. For sure, because you need to know. And that's why you test. That's the beautiful thing about TTP is you can test out an area. You did it in what, this morning? You know what I mean? I mean, you could
yeah.
test it out and decide, okay, wait a second. This whole area is like totally getting destroyed right now by, you know, 1,000 Filipinos that are going bananas in this specific zip code, right? And it's just annoying people, whatever else. So one, your tone and your pace and the fact that you're a neighbor to these people is going to give you an advantage. So when you do find people that the timing is right, you're going to win, okay? As long as you pre-qualify and as long as you're making sure that, you know, their pricing isn't too crazy, you're going to win that deal. But definitely expand out for sure. But that's the only way to know is to test it out and have those conversations.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah,
Cool,
well, I mean,
man.
it reminds me of in Indianapolis, like the hottest area for 10 years has been Fountain Square. And, you know, I actually have 3 properties there now. None of them were my best deals, but you know, it's like you can count on appreciation there, but you can also count on everyone knowing how much their property's worth and overinflating that, and having no problem finding a buyer that wants to buy a rundown house there. So I have seen the biggest operators here don't really focus in Fountain Square. Like, sure, a deal will come when the timing's right, like Brent said, but that's also what I've seen in Indianapolis is that they're focusing more on areas that aren't like hot, but are still very beneficial for somebody in California to scoop up and park their money in that rental property. So that's what I've noticed here. definitely along the same lines.
So just be nimble, Tyler. Don't stick to one area. Don't fall in love with one area. Get into an area. You're going to get a hot run. You're going to get a hot hand in that area. Go for as long as you can in that until it taps out, and then move on. Move on, expand it out. The beautiful thing is, I mean, if your bread and butter is the driving for dollars, which it always has been for us, if you don't want to be driving around for hours or whatever, just do it virtually, man. Just do it virtually. They've got the little attachment, the Google attachment that really helps out with that.
Yeah, I've also been haven't done any virtual driving for dollars, but I'm very interested in that. And I guess my question for that is that I've always been concerned about. I guess is there some videos that kind of show you like how to do that anywhere?
Come on, brother. Come on, you know I got you.
Yeah, well, and then I think I've seen a couple, but one of my concerns is that I'm sure this question has been addressed somewhere, but like, you know, like I look at the pictures and they're outdated, you know, like maybe, and I'm, you know, so like I'm just, I don't know how that plays.
It just depends. I mean, you're in Austin, man. Major markets, they usually update them pretty well. Even if the little sticker at the bottom says 2018, I don't know if I'd necessarily trust it. You know what I mean? They're out driving. You know what I mean? So I would just go for it. Even if it's an ugly house, just assume if you call them up and they're like, dude, I sold that like 4 years ago or something. You know what I mean? You could also probably filter it on when they bought it. You know what I mean? Look, find out when can you pull that, David, when you export it, the date that they bought it, and just get rid of the ones that were bought in the last year?
Yeah, it's in the property record. You can filter that in the software as well as in the export.
There you go.
Yeah, I definitely think I need to like go brush up on some videos on virtual driving for dollars. That's something I would definitely like to get into and to add in with the live, you know, driving for dollars. So I guess there's some videos on YouTube or somewhere.
Yeah, on my YouTube channel, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Type in Brent Daniels virtual driving for dollars. There's 2 or 3 of them. Yep.
We'll post the link in the chat for you.
Okay.
Elise is raising her hand like she wants to be called on.
No, she's gonna post it in the chat. That's what
oh, got it. Okay.
Okay. Do you feel good about the virtual driving for dollars, Brent? Like, is that been a pretty successful niche?
Fantastic. Yeah. We haven't seen it move. I mean, the needle hasn't moved from our success rate with having somebody out there versus the virtual. It's been great.
Sweet, man.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I'm so pumped. You're out there. You're doing it full time.
That's trying, incredible. Man. I'm trying, you know, like, I'm just stay after it, man. Like, just being persistent and, you know, and that's it.
Tyler, let me ask you this. Are you bringing every single deal to that one buyer?
No, I'm not actually.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You talking about my partner that I'm working with?
Yeah.
No, the guy you found on the We Buy Houses sign.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
Yeah. So, no, he's actually the reason I got my very first deal. Like I said, we didn't do that first deal together, the one we met that house. He actually has a really high performing website that's doing well here in Austin. Like, he's got some good SEO going. And what he's been doing, man, is pretty much just like throwing these. He's so busy that he'll just throw me the leads. And I pretty much act as an acquisition guy for him. And then I just try to provide as much value as I can in the process. And he's been splitting the deals with me 50-50. You know, I want to go out on my own 100% one day. And I talked to Cody about this. But at the same time, I just want to do the right thing. And like, you know, just continue. I got some pretty good stuff going right now. And I guess like when it's time to segue into having my own thing going, I guess I don't know, man. I'm just trying to do the right thing. Like, and you know, I'm not trying to, I don't know. It's like, do you have any advice on that? Like, just.
Yeah. You know, number one is over communicate with your guy. You know what I mean? If you're building it up, you're going out there finding deals, let him know. Don't let it be hidden. Don't let it be secretive. Just tell them, you know, I want to be you, buddy. You know, I mean, obviously. And there's a huge advantage to having a mentor in your market that knows what they're doing, and you feel confident knowing that these deals are actual deals. These deals are going to get done. So it's a huge advantage that you have that relationship. And I encourage anybody that is starting out to find somebody locally that they can help out with, especially if it comes down to deal or no deal, you know, comping it, looking at it, understanding the values, understanding where the price point has to be on your offer. Those are just just absolutely critical. But don't feel the pressure, man. Tyler, don't be like, I need to be on my own in 90 days or I'm a failure or whatever. Just let this thing build, man. Get all that experience, get paid, get going, take the action that you can in the times that you're not working on his leads to be able to build your own, and let that naturally just work itself up to consistent deal flow. And once it gets to that point, just be like, hey, Bob or whatever, I'm now closing these deals. I feel really good. I'm really happy about our relationship. I'd love to send you some deals, but I'm going to do this full time by myself. And that's the conversation. I've had like 8 acquisition managers do that with me. You know what I mean? And I love it. That's incredible. So yeah, just don't put the pressure on you that you have to like do it now, but keep that fire in your belly to be on your own, to be an entrepreneur, but it doesn't have to happen tomorrow. You know what I mean? Keep the experience going, because it's going to pay huge dividends down the road.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks, Tyler.
Yeah. Thanks, David. Yeah. I really appreciate it.
Congrats on all the success. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Hopefully I get some more deals with hopefully I get some deals with DealMachine, I'm working on them. So love that.
Absolutely, man. Keep us up to date.
All right. Will do.
See you, Tyler.
All right, Brent.
All right. We have Emilio. How you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going, guys? It's going good. I'm out here in Dallas, Texas.
Are you driving for dollars right now?
In the house.
I was actually driving for dollars, from 5 o'clock, and then I just pulled over once this started.
Love it. Yeah. Give them the celebration hands.
Wait, so, are you gonna make a call right now to a seller? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, the one call challenge. Are you gonna do that?
I just found out that we could escape trace and call from within the app. Once Brent mentioned that, I was like, oh wow, we can do that. So I might start doing that.
No, do it right now.
I would have to hang up. I don't want to hang
You're
up.
on. Yeah, we got to find somebody who's at home.
Oh man. Well, after we're done for sure. But incredible. So, did you find some good properties today?
Yeah, I've been driving around on average about 2 hours a day, and I'm adding like 70 average per day. I'm following the advice of maybe getting like 300 in the list, so I can start cold calling them, and hopefully get a deal out of that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, my question was, once I do get, a good list, and I start getting like, maybe some probates or pre-foreclosures or absentee owners, I want to start, obviously doing calls myself, but I also want to hire a VA. I'm originally from Mexico, and I have friends back in Mexico that have really good English. We lived in the border, so it's very common for people to have like, small accents like myself, I guess. But my question is, how do you handle, for example, obviously I would pay them, we're talking about $7, $8, $9, $10 an hour. And I want them to, be able to pre-qualify and be able to analyze a deal, pre-qualify them. So whenever I talk to them, I know if it's a good deal or not. But, if they start helping me out with like closing and doing offers and all that, how would I handle like I don't know if there would be friction with, the amount of profit that I would be making with deals, and them knowing, the amounts while they're making like, $7 to $10 an hour.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're hallucinating. I really do. I don't think that that's going to be a thing. Listen, if they want to get paid an hourly to make these calls for you, they're happy to work for you for an hourly rate. And by the way, I don't think you should hire anybody. Listen to me. And this is tested and proven over the last 3 years, Emilio. I am telling you, you need to talk to, not call, talk to 1,000 property owners before you hire anybody. Okay. And let me explain to you why. A couple different reasons. One, you need to understand the mentality that it takes to have a really good quality conversation with a distressed property owner, because that's going to make you better at hiring the right people and training them and keeping them accountable and keeping them excited and keeping them from not like just going, you know, into like autopilot mode. You know what I mean? So it's really important that you understand what they're going through so that you can get the right team to be able to stick around and make the calls. Because the longer you have somebody that's going to make calls for you, the better they're going to be. The more, I mean, they're going to just be like gunslingers on the phone and be able to overcome objections and pre-qualify and be like, Emilio, this thing is hot. You need to call this person right now. And remember, when they hand it off to you, you do the work of converting the deal. Right? Whenever we're wholesaling property, or whenever we're sourcing our own deals, there's three parts. There's lead generation, there's conversion, and then there's exit strategy or disposition. All right. So what you're saying is they're going to do the lead generation, but you got to do the conversion and sell that deal. That's where the magic's at. That's where the money's at. The money's at in the third part, selling the deal. There's no money in it until you sell that deal. And that's building up cash buyer database. That's building a healthy tension with that cash buyer database. That's pushing out really good deals and getting a good reputation. So truly in your mind and in your heart, you have to realize that the bulk of the efforts, the bulk of the value that you're providing the community and to the cash buyers comes from you, man. It's not coming from the person that initially called them and sourced the opportunity. Plus, you're pulling the list. Plus, you're paying for the numbers. Plus, you're paying for their dialer. Plus, you're paying them. All of these things. I mean, you're a business owner. You know what I mean? That is, I mean, a huge responsibility, and you deserve to be paid the lion's share for it. And I hope you do. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Also, no risk, no reward. They're not really taking a risk at all. They're getting paid hourly. You're taking all of the risk with your time and your money to do all that stuff. So you're entitled to the reward.
Perfect. I appreciate it. Just real quick, what CRM do you recommend? I haven't set up a CRM with like any texting or dialing yet. I just started.
Well, a couple different things I did, and no joke, because they're right here. Hold on. These were my CRMs for the first $1.5 million deals that I did. Okay, for real. This is the months, and this is the days of the month. Okay, and I would literally just print out leads and keep them in there and keep it organized. So I don't want you to get into a CRM right now. What I would suggest you do is definitely get a dialer. Something that you like using. There's a few different ones out there. I like mojosells.com. Just because the learning curve is really low, but you can organize a lot of things in there. And for now, I would just print out your leads, put them in something like that. Have a red folder that's your hot leads, your like stalker list, and that is where your hottest leads go, and they're in front of you at all times. Because what happens is creative avoidance creeps into our lives. All of a sudden now we're tinkering around with the CRM. We're tinkering around with hiring and training these other people to make the calls. We're doing all these things where if we just clear it out of the way just for a bit. I know that in our minds we think, you know, if I set all this thing up from the beginning, it's going to be smooth, but it's not. It's going to stop you from taking action. We need to get a big, heavy bank account going by closing on these deals. And you can do that with 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 deals. You don't need a CRM to know the address and phone number for 4 property owners. You know what I mean? So get rid of all that stuff. Stick with the DealMachine app. Get the phone numbers, call them, and watch what happens. I'm telling you, brother.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all the advice and that you're giving here and through YouTube. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Emilio.
Thanks, Emilio. So one other thing that I hear is that CRM question a lot. There's a basic CRM in DealMachine, those on the call may not know, where you can change the status all the way from fresh lead, marketing, you know, appointment set, deal close, and a few in between as well. You can take notes, you can store their address, number, etc. And I don't think there's additional things that they'd need to do at the early stage.
Oh boy.
So Danielle, is joining us. And then Brent froze for me. Did he freeze for you guys?
Ty, let me call you right back. I promise, 2 minutes. All right.
Hey, Danielle.
Hi, how are you?
How are you tonight?
I'm good.
Good. I'm not sure if Brent's still with us. I'll shoot him a text. He's frozen for me.
Yeah, he's frozen.
All right. Well, while he's waiting, why don't you give us a little bit of background on yourself?
So I started wholesaling maybe a month and a half ago.
Okay.
Me and a friend started wholesaling together. And really, I think that what the issue is like I'm having troubles with the leads, and like I'll follow up with them, and then I feel like, well, they'll tell me that people have already contacted them. They're already under contract with a wholesaler. And also with like the vacant and distressed properties also as well. So I'm intimidated by um just like going forward and contacting people. I'm a creature of habit. Like I want everything now, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like adding leads every day. Every morning I get up, and if I have the time, I'll go driving for dollars. I buy lists from PropStream. And then I've even used List Source. So like all of those things, like I'm ready to like turn to bandit signs and stuff like that. So I'm just like, how do I get like first pick? You know what I'm saying? Like to where I'm not struggling and competing with so many, other wholesalers and investors.
Are you, and Danielle, my internet was getting a little bit crazy there, but are you calling them? Are you texting? What is your lead generation?
I'm cold calling.
Are you hand dialing or are you using a dialer?
I'm not using a dialer. I'm hand dialing.
Listen, I would sell the plasma from my blood to afford a dialer. I am telling you, it is that powerful to get like a dialer, because it is going to take the efforts that you do all this all day long, and it's going to condense it. You can make 10 times the amount of calls. That's how you get in front of these other investors. Is you have to call so many people, and you have to dial so many people manually that it's slowing down the whole process, and it's going to take you longer to get there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. I think we lost you there. I don't know where you went.
I think your thumb is over the camera.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I had to wipe my face because I'm looking all sweaty and stuff. I don't.
Oh no, you're good. Where do you live? Where do you live?
I live in New York, so I don't know if you heard of like Hudson Valley.
Yep.
Like the market is super saturated right now. Like I'll go driving for dollars, and then like I'll see a new pre-foreclosure, and the next day there's like a gate around the property. Someone's already brought it, and then like there's investors in the area. They do their own, work. Like when I go to the probate office and stuff like that, they're doing their own research. So it's like, sometimes I feel like there's really no room for me, you know what I'm saying, as the middleman, because there are people that are doing their own work out there, I feel like people aren't really using like wholesalers in this area. They're going directly to the buyer.
What's the average price point?
The average price point in this area, like for how much they're buying for?
Yeah, for like a total
like 30,000, like on average is like 30,000 per property. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I need you to be in that 150 to 250 range.
Mm. Oh, you mean asking?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. I need you to get out of all those little tiny rental properties.
Oh, got it.
And get into that 150 to 250 range. So I don't know how far out you have to go from your house to be able to get into those markets, but that's where I want you to be, because you're going to find a ton of opportunities there. And a lot of people aren't just going there to snatch up all these, really low priced houses and to keep into their portfolio. You're going to be going after, these properties that less people are going after, because you have to have a bigger budget to be able to fix and flip these properties that are a little bit heavier. So I want you to get into that. Try going into the 150 to 250 $1,000 neighborhoods. Definitely drive for dollars. And don't just go after the pre-foreclosures and the probates and that type of stuff. I want you to go after the niche stuff. I want you to go after vacant lots. I want you to go after.
I've seen a few of those, yeah.
I want you to go after rundown multifamily or just older multifamily. Anything built before 1990, I want you after like crazy. That's a duplex, triplex, and fourplex in your area. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. I want you to go
yeah,
after
I'm definitely going to expand my market.
Yeah.
Expand my market and go outside of the Hudson Valley area because I think you're right. You know, I definitely need to go for the bigger properties and not just the pre-foreclosures. And I think that's like the most popular thing, you know, pre-foreclosures and
Oh, yeah, because you're fighting against agents, real estate agents trying to list them. You're going after the people don't want to answer because they're getting calls from people trying to collect on the loan that's due. And the big thing is, you know, with those, and this is for anybody around the country that's in that, you know, under $100,000, under $60,000 $60,000 properties is what's happening is big time companies go after these properties like crazy. They lock them up, they buy them for 60 and they sell it as a fixed up rent ready house, a turnkey rental for like $80,000 to these people that have a ton of money and no sense at all. And they're the doctors, attorneys, business people, whatever, that need to put money into real estate so that they can get depreciation, so that they have less tax liability. So those ones get hit really, really, really aggressively because
that's
they just
exactly
go in
what's
and
going on.
make their own prices.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. I love that you're taking so much action. That's so incredible. Seriously, just I'm telling you.
Everywhere I go, I'm just like, oh my God, let me write down that address. Like, I mean, sometimes I don't even go out with the purpose of driving for dollars, you know? Yeah. But I'm always looking, like always, you know. And I do, like, I'm ready to quit my job. I am like so dedicated to this, and I really believe that this is the way to wealth. You know, even like if you want to invest in other streams of income, you know what I'm saying, outside of real estate, this is the way that you can do it, you know?
Yep. But get a big juicy, I want a 10, 20, 25, $30,000 deal before you go to this thing full time. All right. Because if you can do it part time, you know that you can do this full time. You know what I mean? I want you to feel, I don't want the stress coming from, oh no, I'm using all my savings to do this thing. I want the stress to be coming from, oh wait, I just did a $20,000 deal. Now I got to do a $30,000 deal. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to use the deals that you do as a minimum standard to keep increasing it up until you do a massive deal, which I call, which I clarify as a $50,000 minimum profit to you wired into your account. That's the mindset that we need to be building and growing and doing that. But it starts with getting it done part-time so that you feel comfortable and confident to do it full-time.
Thank you. Definitely. Yep. I'm going to take
Thanks so much, Danielle.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Awesome.
You're welcome. Next time we talk to you, Danielle, I would love to hear about that massive deal over $50,000.
Definitely. You will.
But if you need help.
And I'm on every webinar, so you will definitely hear.
Awesome. I love it. Well, this is the first time you've joined on, so I really appreciate that.
It's awesome.
I appreciate you guys as well. Have a good night.
You too.
Who's next?
Man, sometimes
what a great group. What a phenomenal group. I mean, everybody has great energy. It feels good. I mean, it's an incredible group. So well done, guys. Well done, Hannah and Elise. You guys put together a great group here. So that's phenomenal.
I agree. Man, some of those properties that are $30,000, sometimes I feel like they're underwater. Like even if they gave that property to you for free, sometimes it would take way more than that to repair it to the proper state that it needs to be in.
Listen to me. It's one of the biggest traps ever is this whole thing. Well, I own 100 doors. Oh, really? Okay, great. Well, what is their average price? $25,000. Well, how do you ever get out of that property? First of all, here's the issue. right? Anybody that buys these turnkey rental properties, you're buying a property that's totally overpriced, right? Because you're buying it cash, so there's no appraisal. There's no appraisal. You just buy it for whatever they put it out at. And then how do you get out of that property? Well, now you've rented it for 10 years. Guess how you get out of that property? You have to sell it at a discount. All right. So unless it's truly your only method or your only strategy is to get write-offs for your taxes because you're making millions, then stay away from turnkey rentals for sure.
Dean, are you with us?
Come on, Dean.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Okay. I'm a retiree from an airline, sort of forced retirement. So this is my new career.
Awesome.
In wholesaling property, creating I guess you call it a bank, so I can go purchase property.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is one of the things, one of the things I can do right now, because I've had a judgment against myself from a foreclosure, so I can't borrow money, but I can wholesale.
Okay.
And my name doesn't go on any property. And then what I do later is stick it in my qualified retirement plan, and that buys property, and they can't find me that way.
Got it. So you want to acquire properties using other people's money or wholesale?
Or wholesale, yeah.
Got it.
So listening to Brent Daniels, I got a lot of calls to do, but I did have a question about, I heard something about dialer. I don't know what that is.
Okay. Well, Dean, first of all, welcome to the club. About 10 years ago, I was slapped with a judgment for $742,000 for an office lease that I couldn't pay. So I know what you're going through. I know all of that. What I will tell you is you can negotiate those, right? You can negotiate those to get those off so that you can get that weight off your back. And so I know that you'll be able to do it, but wholesaling was my way to get that huge debt off my back. So I applaud you for taking this path. What I'll tell you about a dialer, basically what you do is
Well, I can fill in a little bit of details about the dialer. It's actually a software program that will dial numbers for you. So you could upload a spreadsheet or of names and numbers, and essentially it would do the dialing for you. So you don't have to click. You just plug your headphones into the computer and it's going to dial it, and then you have a great conversation. And as soon as you hang up, it'll dial the next one for you. So it saves a lot of time, first and foremost.
So you know who you're talking to then?
I don't know where I left off. This
Well,
thing, you know, you're in an office, you know, and anyway, where was I at? The dialer?
We're talking about the dialer. That's right.
All right. So you take a list with the addresses and phone numbers in Excel format. You plug it into the dialer and you press go, and it's dialing for you. And it connects you when somebody picks up the phone. So you can talk to them without having to dial 1,000 numbers at a time. So it's just it's an efficiency tool.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's an app on the phone, or?
It is an app, but most of the time people use it just on their computers.
Yep. So I know your question was, do you dial with your own number or do you want to do an unidentified number?
Yeah, I like using a CallRail number, callrail.com. It's a couple dollars to get a number, and it allows you to organize where the callbacks go so that your phone number is not constantly getting blown up by all the people that missed your call, which gets a real annoying. And then your initial reaction is, oh, well, I'll get off this call and jump on that because they're calling me back, but they don't know why you called. And 99.9% of the time, they have no interest in selling it. They were just calling you back because they didn't know who called them. So I use CallRail to as my caller ID.
Is that another app?
It's a website.
A website. CallRail, R-A-I-L?
R-A-I-L. Yeah, you got it, man.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So you take a CallRail number, you put it into your dialer, you upload your list from DealMachine, you press go, Dean, boom, you're talking to them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I do driving for dollars on my electric bicycle, because in Hawaii, there's a lot of little short lanes that the Google Maps does not go down.
Oh,
So I
awesome.
have to go down
Perfect.
myself.
Yeah.
And I go down these little lanes real quiet, put all the addresses in, and I go home. And
Incredible.
yeah,
Incredible. I love it. Perfect. Biking for dollars.
biking for dollars, right?
That's
That's
it.
right. You got to get your dialer technology to match your bike technology.
Okay, there you go.
Well, I'll tell you, I have a student, Solomon On, and he's in Portland, and he skateboarded for dollars and did $100,000 deal, skateboarding for dollars. So keep it up. I'm telling you, you're one conversation away from a fantastic deal. So just keep it up, get into that rhythm, and make sure you take advantage of the one call challenge. Just make a call today. I know it's daytime there, right? I know that you still got time there. The sun's not going to. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, wow.
So you're ready to go. You better be the guy that does the 5 call challenge for sure.
Right. All right. Thanks.
Awesome.
Thank you, Dean.
Thanks, Dean.
All righty.
So we probably have time for one, maybe 2 more questions. And then so after that, we're going to have a demo of DealMachine. So those of you that want to see how to actually do the stuff in the software, we'll show you how.
Awesome.
And next up, it looks like we have Angela.
All right, Angela.
Man, during the pandemic, I haven't been able to buy a bicycle.
Unmute myself. I don't know what to do. Why do I look like this? I'm not here. Oh boy.
Come on, Angela. You look great.
Can you see me?
No.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, so I just wanted to know how about I am more open to knocking on doors.
Okay.
That's where I think my strong point is, knocking on doors. So I just wanted to know if you had any advice for me. I'm a 57-year-old grandmother, but I'm a beast. Once I get there, I know I can do it because I like the in-your-face approach instead of calling on the phone. Because I'm from New York City, and I try that. They curse you out like a dog. They will curse you so bad. You have no idea how bad they curse you.
Sure.
I've started working one state over in New Jersey, and I've started to make some contacts. For example, I've made, even with a real estate agent who calls me sometimes to tell me about some deals that he would have. The things is that the numbers aren't working, but I also use my my virtual app to look around. But the calling, I'm not comfortable calling. I am really comfortable knocking doors.
Love it.
I was wondering if you have any suggestions on how, because I don't want to be too abrasive. I just want to make sure that I'm doing it the correct way.
Yes.
But I just gleam in the idea of just knocking someone's door and meeting them face to face where they're at.
Yeah, I love it, Angela. I mean, that's what I did for a couple years. I mean, I knocked 15,000 doors. So I'll give you some advice here. A couple tips here. Number one, don't stand right at the door. Back up a little bit. Start looking around the neighborhood a little bit. You don't want to be like staring at their like door when they answer. Okay, that's number one. I mean, you could probably get away with it. You sound extremely charming, and I don't think anybody's going to be, worried about you ramming down the door or anything. But the other thing is just make sure that you're very conversational. Let them know that you live in the area. Let them know what you are. Let them know that you're a real estate buyer, not an investor. An investor, when you say the word investor to somebody for the first time, it causes friction. Okay, it causes friction because they think that you're going to take advantage. All right, you're a real estate buyer. You're a neighbor. You're just here to see if they would consider an offer on their property. Okay, the other thing I would say is once you go, I would cherry pick which properties you go to. I wouldn't knock every house there, but what I would say is the worst house on the street or the worst houses on the street, if they don't answer, knock the 2 neighbors to the left of them, the 2 neighbors to the right of them, and the 4 that are across the street. Okay, because one of those neighbors knows the story of what's going on with that house, and they're going to fill you in, and they're going to let you know when is the best time to either have a conversation with those people, or you get their phone number, or you're going to find out if somebody passed away, if somebody can't handle it, if somebody just moved into, some sort of assisted living situation, or if it's a rental that's empty for a while, whatever it is, they're going to let you know what's going on. So don't miss out on talking to the neighbors that are around that ugly house.
Okay.
And the next thing you just have to consider is it's very seasonal. It gets very cold. It gets very cold where you live.
Yes,
so,
it does.
You know what I mean? So I just don't, I would like to open up the idea that maybe you knock when the weather's nice and maybe you call when it's unbearable. You know, at least you're taking action in the times where it's bitterly cold and you don't want to get sick and you don't want to get out there and be shivering when somebody answers the door.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yes. Another question I wanted to ask quickly is that some of the people that I call, a lot of times they want to find out how can I help? How can you help me get out of this foreclosure? I don't want to sell. I'm not interested in selling. I just want to get out of this foreclosure. So I was wondering, is it better, because I've studied a few things and I kind of understand how the pre-foreclosure how it works. So is it a better way to kind of coax them through it, to let them see that all these loopholes won't work? Because I can always say, well, there are quite a few loopholes that you could use, and I could go through these loopholes until they realize that none of these loopholes will get them out. Do you think I should use that approach to kind of build credibility, or no, just go straight to
I love it, but keep it simple. Just simply ask them, how do you have a plan for how you can afford this house?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because they can't.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Everybody wants to stay in their house, but if they can't afford it and they have a loan on it, they're going to have to make a decision. And that's what you say. Listen, I'm there when you're ready to make the decision to move on with your life with a clean slate, get out of this situation. It's obviously stressful. It's obviously painful. I would love for you to stay here. Do you have some financial support from friends and family that are going to help you pay for your mortgage and catch you back up so they don't foreclose and take the house? Okay. So that's the conversation that I would have. You want to be there as almost like a consultant, you know what I mean? And see if there's a way that somebody can help them because they're behind on the payments. So not only do they have to make their payments, there are legal costs involved. There's penalties involved. You know, there's more, they're going to have to pay more to catch that up. And if you can find somebody in your market that's really good at helping people do loan modifications, and you really want to help these people out, then that's a great resource. Now, the beauty of referring somebody that can do loan modifications is if they're not able to do it, guess what? They fall back into your leads, into your lap, and now you're there to help them out with a cash offer.
Okay, thank you. I'll leave the rest of the time for someone else. But thanks, you,
Angela.
I am so excited. I can't wait to do my first deal. I'm having nightmares.
Angela, you're a beast.
Yes, I am.
You've got a lot of
I'm going to get it done so I can
DealMachine.
come in here and tell everyone how I did it. I can't wait.
Love it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We'll see you on the next one.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Brent, you got time for one more?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
If my internet does.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
It will. I know it will.
Come on.
Hey, Keon.
Keon.
How's it going, man?
How you doing? We're doing great.
So my question is, I just started like getting into the whole like driving for dollars thing. So I'm kind of still on the 30-day trial thing, but I am driving around. I'm finding a lot of good leads, like absentee houses and things of that nature. But my only holdup that I'm having with things is what to use when I'm doing my ARV, whether to do like the 30% or the 70%, because I watched a lot of YouTube clips of you guys, of course, and everybody uses something different. So I'm kind of hung up on where I should start with that.
Well, it just depends. Are you talking about just to make an initial offer? Or are you talking about to like really, really meet with them and like get that price really refined?
Just the initial offer.
All right. So Here's kind of a rule of thumb that I really like is if it's above 200,000, like you look on Zillow and it's like 200,000 or whatever, I like going 66% or 65%, depending, right? So if it's 200, you're at like 135 unless it's totally destroyed, but it's kind of it's a good way to throw out something so that you understand if you guys are close on price. And so you know that if this is going to be a qualified person or not. And if it's under 200, I like going 50%. And I'm just keeping this simple because you can refine it as you build that relationship with that seller. But I don't want you getting stuck on, hey, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, let me go back and do my research. And then they ghost you for the next 3 weeks. You know what I mean?
Right.
I would rather be like, hey, you know what? It looks like in the area, your neighbors that are in similar condition to you are selling for around 130,000. Is that kind of what you were thinking? Right? It's almost, and they're like, what? No, I want 500,000 for this. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, do you have any other properties that you would be interested in selling? Maybe something that needs more work? Right? So I want you to be able, oftentimes we have to throw a price out if they're not going to give us one, right? Especially when we're prospecting, because they're like, hey, you called me, you give me the price. You want to buy my house, you give me the price. And what we say, because we do a lot of deals, is, well, we're buying homes similar to yours in this area for this. But if you haven't done a lot of deals, you say the neighbors are selling for around this price. And you can find those deals. You can find those comparables that back that up. That's not a lie. You're going to find properties that are selling in that 50 to 60% range based on the condition in that area that you can start working with. And then from there, I would highly just point you towards my YouTube channel and just type in perfect offer presentation or perfect pricing or whatever it is, and get the whole 15-minute breakdown of that, which shows you based on the condition and the size of home, what you can estimate the repair costs are going to be and everything. So it's a good resource for you.
Okay. I thank you guys a lot, man, because like I said, I feel like this is something really cool. I've been really I'm actually a leasing consultant right now where I actually rent apartments. So the whole talking part of it is not a problem with me because I do this all the time.
All day.
So it's like, yeah, I do it all day. Like I call leads. Like I just, when I got off at 5 o'clock, I took a half an hour and just called prospects, like probably 15 of them because we're leasing a property. So I feel like this would be just a great gateway to move out of the whole leasing thing into something bigger. So, but awesome. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Keon. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. The perfect offer presentation. Oh, it's been a great time. Brent, you started at 100 miles per hour and you kept us going the whole way through. And just thank you so much for being an awesome guest. I did see a lot of people ask, how much is your program? Do you have a program? And I'll let you talk about that now if you want to, of course. But I think it's at the website, talktopeople.com, right?
Yeah, 100%. And there's a couple different options, guys, because the mentorship, the one-on-one program, some people aren't ready for the financial investment for it, or they just want to get their feet wet with wholesaling. So literally this week we released Do Your First Wholesale Deal. It is an incredible, it's almost 5 hours of training. It is going to show you what to do with all these leads that you get from DealMachine. It's got DealMachine in the actual training, but that is at ttpworkshop.com. And if you could type that in, at least ttpworkshop.com. And I'm telling you, this isn't like a gimmicky thing, but my team for Wholesale Hotline, we put a 40% discount on Monday. It runs out in like 7 hours or something goofy. I don't know. There's a ticker on there. You can check that out. But I'm telling you, that is going to put you in an incredible, all these things that we don't understand, how to comp properties, what to say to people, how to go on appointments, how to build a cash buyer database, how to sell these deals. All of it is in 29 modules. You get this big old workbook of like 40 pages with all the contracts and assignment contracts and purchase contracts and and slides to take notes. All that stuff is in there. I'm so happy and excited for people to get in there and sink their teeth into it. But if you want, take your time with it. That's totally up to you. There's no pressure, but that discount does end whenever that clock on that website goes out. So I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to check that out. If it feels good in your gut, get it. Start going through it, get your first deal, then join the mentorship. And I'd love to work with anybody personally, one-on-one. Everybody in my mentorship gets my cell phone. I've got, 14 texts that I have to respond to from students here. And it's just exciting and I love it. And it's just a personal one-on-one coaching mentorship that has done really well for people around the country. So I'm excited for anybody that wants to join that and be in my world and be in this world, which is exciting because this is the best business of all time. It is a cash machine. It is this is life-changing. There is life before wholesaling and there is life after, and life after is all about freedom of schedule and financial freedom and just being extremely overwhelmed by the energy that you get from this business. So I love it.
Thank you so much, Brent. Really appreciate it. Guys, take action before that runs out in 7 hours. And I will see you soon. Elise and Hannah are going to stay and give you guys a demo. I'm actually going to go to my girlfriend's parents' anniversary dinner. So I'm going to slip out early tonight. And Brent, thank you again. Really,
awesome.
Really appreciate it.
Love you guys.
Brent.
Thank you, Elise. Thank you, Hannah.
I'm actually going to do the challenge here while we do the demo, before we do the demo.
The one call challenge?
Do it. You better do it.
Yeah, I'm going to do it here live.
Good.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to miss it.
It'll be recorded. Don't worry, it's recorded.
Oh, good.
See you guys.
Bye.
Right,
oh, man. And Hannah's going to be my lovely co-host. So thanks, Hannah.
No problem. Here, I'm gonna stop sharing here.
I'm feeling so freaking energized. Is anyone else feeling just so energized?
Yeah.
Oh, Amir's like, I'm back. So Hannah, if you could tell me any questions people have as I'm going. I'm actually going to, my camera's here and I have my screen here. I'm going to pull this up. But I already know what house I want to call.
Love it.
I'll tell y'all right now, I don't know why. I've been on so many walks. It's near my neighborhood. I was like, I need to do this. I need to call this person because these houses are ugly. And there's 3 of them. They're little rentals. And I was like, I need to call them. So can you see my screen okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to go to my map. I cannot remember. I know where on the map they are, so I just need to find them really quick. They are right here. There's like 3 little houses. I feel like I'm saying like 3 little pigs. There's 3 little houses right here, these 3 right here, and they're all little tiny like starter homes, and they are in really bad condition. So I'm going to just zoom in here. And I can hear my computer working overtime right now. But yeah, I'm going to press this bad boy right here. 2215. Okay, I'm going to skip trace. So guys, I'm just going through exactly what you would do. So I'm going to skip trace them. It is vacant. It's owned by a corporation. And they bought it 2017. So it's been 3 years. They're literally doing nothing with it. So I'm really curious as to what they're going to do. So here's the mobile number. I'm going to go ahead and call.
And while Elise dials, start putting your DealMachine questions in the chat and I'll ask them after this call. You got it, girl.
Okay. I actually did I haven't done cold calling in a while. I don't usually have time to cold call. Okay, I'm going to call him. So this is Global Network, but business owner is Boris. So I'm just going to ask him if they have any plans for their property because I think he actually owns the other 3 as well. Let me just double check before I call. Yeah, he owns all 3 of these. And I'm just going to say I live in the neighborhood and noticed they were vacant and was wondering if he was interested in selling them. All right, let's see. It's 8:14 at night here, so he could probably be really pissed.
Richard says, I'm scared for you. You got
Oh, Richard, don't say that.
We can do it. We're courageous.
All right, here.
You have reached the voicemail of Boris Galistov. Please leave your name and number, and I will call you back.
Okay, so now everyone's going to ask me why I didn't leave a voicemail. Mm-hmm. The reason is, and this is just personal, but I got the right number, y'all. Like, that was Boris. So I'm definitely going to call him again, but I don't like leaving voicemails on the first time. And that's just a habit from sales school that I took a long time ago. I usually leave a voicemail on the second call that I do. So how about on my live on Monday, I call him again and do another live cold call?
Yes.
How does that sound? I feel bad. I cannot see anyone else's thing, I can't see even the chat right
so
now.
I'll just start asking questions to you then.
Oh, there you are. I was like, sorry, I have so many screens. I'm like, where is everyone?
Tracy Garrett Numa said, how do we get the address numbers to show up?
Oh, yeah. So on the map, and just so y'all know, this is your dashboard. I might show a sneak peek of something tonight.
Who's excited?
Who's excited? To get the numbers to show up on the houses, a couple of different, they should already show up, but if you don't see them, it's probably because you're zoomed out too far. So you have to make sure that you're zoomed in, and I apologize, guys. I'll close out these tabs over here. I had a couple open for references for YouTube videos and stuff for the chat. So let me see if this helps. Anywho's it. So if you're zoomed out too far, the numbers are not going to end up showing. So that could be a reason. But also, if you go into, and plus that's like illegible right there. If you go into this little threefold map here, you'll be able to see this show label on property, and you can actually have show address number, property address, owner full name and last name on it instead. So I choose the property address number because just like, oh my gosh, I know his name. Tap to add. The first person who came on said they tap to add, and that is what I do. And having the numbers on the houses is just so helpful because you can just do a quick, okay, good to go. And if the numbers aren't on the house, I then look at the house next beside it. So that way I can kind of do some, just figure it out by that. This is so weird not seeing the chat since that's like all I look at.
Yeah, well, do you recommend skip tracing LLCs? Said Augustin Contreras.
I sure do now. I mean, I did before, but now like I just skip traced that LLC and I got his mobile number. So that's the thing with a lot of these LLCs. People were asking that in the chat. They, just because they're an LLC does not mean that they're like, I found one that was called like Horse and Buggy LLC. Like it wasn't something, it was very mom and pop-ish sounding. So don't get intimidated by the corporate owned name. Boris sounded like a very nice gentleman. I can't wait to call him again.
Yeah. Elise, do you use postcards or letters?
I use a postcard. Ballpoint. Yeah. So I have used ballpoint letters. I kind of do testing between different things. So right now I do, and I'll show you guys right here in my campaigns. I do a COVID postcard, and then I have mine separated. This is a add-on feature, which is drip campaigns, but you can still do repeat mailer. And this is a plug that we just launched, or we just posted the new repeat mailer video today. I'm biased because I think, you know, it's cool. But you can send repeat mail, whether through campaigns or if you don't have campaigns, you don't have to. But my postcards, I'll show you guys, because someone was asking about my buyer's postcard earlier. So these are the postcards I use. And then the buyer's postcard I use is, I personally just love the blocks template we have. I'd put a headshot in there. I'm actually going to be getting professional pictures done with my dogs. So I'll be definitely changing this out for that. But I say, is this your property? Do you want more like this instead? And I say, we are a wholesaling business in the area and wondered if you want us to contact you about houses like this. If you're interested, please call, text, or email us. But someone was asking about marketing to them as a seller. If the house is super distressed and it is corporate owned, I would still market to them. If it was sold over, like, let's say 5 years, like Boris, I would definitely, that's why I would ask him. I mean, it's been 3 years, they're sitting there. I live in the area, so I know there's no work being done to them. So it's just out of pure curiosity.
Love it. All right, we have a bunch of questions rolling in. So next one is from Eddie. If you find a lead and they want to sell, where will you get the pool of buyers?
So this is another video that's dropping on Monday about how you can do that. So I showed a couple different things. Definitely the corporate owned, finding them on the map and everything like that. So I could highlight areas. If I have Street Engine, I can just go to highlights. I can click on owner of multiple properties. That usually means that they have a portfolio and they are a buyer if they own multiple properties. And so if I do this, it's going to show me having these. So a lot, if you can't tell, this area is actually there are a ton of rentals in this area. I know you're thinking this has to be wrong, but actually, like, this does not surprise me very much because a lot of these, like, I know in this area, David owns a couple as well, but this would be a way of me knowing, like, okay, who are they, all that good stuff. Also, I can look up corporate owned through the custom filters. So I can go in here and instead of owner type, I'll do corporate owned. Or out of state absentee owner. That's probably a buyer. 99.9% sure that's probably a buyer. Or someone who maybe is a tired landlord, either one. Now, if you have list engine and you don't have street engine, kind of the same thing. You would build a list. I'd put in the zip code that I want. And then I would go by owners of multiple properties or do the same thing and do a custom list. And then that's going to pull all of that for me. So that way I can go ahead and contact them. Do you want me to go on with the demo you got?
Oh, we have a lot of questions, so I'm just going to keep asking if that's all right.
No.
Where are phone numbers being pulled? For some of the numbers I called, they were wrong. That was from Betty. So I just want you to answer that question because I've seen it come through now twice.
Yes. So we get our data from a bunch of different, like, I honestly cannot tell you like the exact name of who's pulling this information. I'm being completely transparent. I don't know the exact people we're pulling numbers from. I know that we have taken numbers from other skip tracing services. And if I could remember that data, I would tell you it. And we are comparable to a lot of other skip tracing services. And I know that kind of also sounds just like a very coded answer, but it's the honest truth. If I could tell you guys where we got it, I would tell you.
All right, we have another question. When you're driving for dollars, do you prefer to enter LLC and corporate owned properties? I was told don't enter them, but I see you just did. So I know that's a repeat question, but.
No, that's a good one. Actually, I'm going driving for dollars tomorrow. So I will show you how I add properties on live at 2:00 Eastern Standard Time. But when you're driving for dollars, you should just go out with the mindset of you are adding distressed properties. just do tap to add, get as many properties as you can, because your time is valuable. So then when you get home, you can sift through them by doing this in your leads list. I have presets made to where I can go ahead and put all of the ones and know which ones are going to be qualified because of my presets. So like I said, with corporate owned, I would market to them if they were sold over 5 years ago. But if they're distressed, like, and no one's doing anything with them, I'm going to ask, like, hey, do you want this off your plate?
Anthony Molina had a great question. He said, Elise, I saw in a video that you started out driving for David. How did you go about making your own deals?
Oh, so I didn't drive. I drove with one of David's drivers. I didn't actually drive for David. I drove for myself because I wanted to know. I knew nothing about real estate investing. I knew nothing about driving for dollars starting with DealMachine about 2 years ago now. And so I just went out, I got an LLC, I opened up my own PO box, which I will tell all of you with analysis paralysis, I put off going to the post office to get my PO box key because I knew once I opened it, I had to start sending mail. There was no reason why I couldn't start marketing, which then meant the phone would start ringing and I would have to know what the heck I'm talking about. So I started doing that. Now I will be, again, I'm full transparency. I have not, as you can tell, my mail is stopped right now because I don't have time for it with doing DealMachine, but I want to get back into it. And I'm going off of what I went through. I went to appointments. I have not closed a deal. I've been to about 6 appointments. I've been on appointments with David just to see how he does it. And I've also talked to a lot of wholesalers and stuff like that, but just go out and do it. Some people will say you don't need an LLC. I just felt better getting one, and it's not super expensive in Indiana. I know that it is in some states. So I would just ask your local RIA people how they feel about that.
Okay, I'm gonna ask just like 2 or 3 more questions and then we'll get on to the demo because they are coming in hot. Way to go, guys.
I love it. Good.
Tanya said, can I enter in an address without actually driving it?
Yes.
Yes.
You certainly can. There's a couple different ways you can do that. So you can be on the map page and you can go ahead and type in an address here and it'll auto-populate as you go along adding it. And then that's how you can add it to your list. Or you can go into leads and there is an add lead button over here in the right-hand corner that you can click. And then you can manually enter the lead in from there.
All right. Okay. D. Survey said, sorry, what do the colored properties mean? Rentals or multiple owners?
Great question. So the highlight properties, anything that's in green just matches my filters that I used for the highlights. So I go over to highlights and I can pretty much filter it by anything that you were just talking about. I could do owns multiple properties. What I could do is say I have a buyer who wants a 2-unit property somewhere. You can actually go to unit count and have a maximum, like a minimum of 2 units. And then I can apply that. I know there's a couple in this area. Let's say it includes broad. And then I can do a maximum of how many units as well. And I can do lot size. I know if you have buyers that are very specific, it's going to highlight when it matches this criteria. And actually, I know that some of those are 2 units. They actually might be 4. What else you got for me, Han? Oh, wait. One little thing. If you see purple highlights and you're an iOS user, it is the same as the green. It's just something with iOS that it sometimes does purple.
A couple people are asking about like fees and pricing, and if you would have list engine and street engine, is there like a discount? Can you just talk on that really quick?
Yeah.
Why we don't have them all together in one?
Yeah. So the big reason why we don't have them all in one is because not everyone, we want you to be able to customize what you want. Some people may not want the driving for dollars portion and they just want the list engine, but they don't want to be paying a bigger fee because, so say we were to combine them all together, these would double in price because we'd have to combine them. So if you wanted street engine and list engine, we'd have to make that a big price anyways. But say you just wanted street engine, you didn't want list engine, but you'd be still paying that huge price. So or whatever price it would be double whatever this is. And so we wanted to make it customizable for you to just add what you want and what you need. So that way you don't feel like we're just taking your money and you're not using half of it. We want you to be able to use what you need and what you want. So that's why street engine and list engine are different. I know a lot of our, like, say, enterprise street engine members, some of them are professional list engine because they don't need the unlimited list. We wanted to give that option so that way you guys, again, could have more control over, what you need and what you want and what you have.
Yeah. All right, let's go into the demo because I feel like we're getting a few questions about technicalities and maybe how to get to certain things. So why don't you just take us through the demo and then we'll ask more questions along the way.
All right, sounds good. Okay, everyone, dashboard. I know a lot of you probably scroll past this, but there's an activity feed on here, super important, okay? This tells you everything that you've done. It shows me when I downloaded, I exported, anybody on my account. I do have people that are on my account, like that add properties for me. They're not super active right now, but they do. If they did, look, it says like skip trace successful. Perfect. I have how many places I have. Where did I drive? I can click into this and it's going to show me all the properties I added during that drive. If my computer didn't go so slow, it can show you. I'm really down. I'm glad I'm going driving for dollars tomorrow. Because I only have 9 leads added in 4 weeks. That tells you how busy we are, which is good. And then it shows just the total breakdown. Now, one thing that I'm super excited about is that a lot of you have asked, and we are getting a calendar feature, which we can show you a little preview, but basically you'll be able to click on a date, show how many mailers are going out to what properties. And that way you're prepared to see what's going to be going out and what actions are going to be taken. Like, so what mailers are you sending out to which property now? Is this their second one, third one? How much money is it? Things like that. So really excited about that. Not quite sure when it's going to be released yet. We're testing it right now for y'all. So be excited, be ready to go. Going to the map section. And when you're on mobile, it does look a little different because I don't have some of the abilities on desktop, but you get in your car, you click this little arrow right here in the top right, and it's going to turn blue. It locks into your location. You press the little start driving button, which is down at the bottom, press start driving, and then just start driving. If you're on professional or enterprise, you'll start having it traced like this. You can tell my yellow lines means I haven't driven there in 6 to 12 months. So you start driving, and to add a property, and I've added all of these, so bear with me, but I would say change it from pin mode, which the difference between pin mode and tap to add mode is pin mode, you would have to tap on the property and press add lead. With tap to add mode, you would just tap on the lead and it's automatically entered into your lead list. So there you go. So then you would just add properties. That would be what I'd focus on. For highlights, you just, like I said, highlight this over here. You can filter it by whatever you need. So that way you can zoom out and see what areas. So like, where's my filters or my presets? So this is what I set my deal finders to. So if you have deal finders, you can set a deal finder highlight for them to see, like green is good. These are what you add. So my highlight is anything sold over 3 years ago. So I can zoom out of here and they can zoom out. And if you wanted to see, I did drive with David's Deal Finder, and he did know about this, and this is how he figured out where to like drive for David that day. If it had a lot of green, he would go over there and he'd drive around and see what's over there. So you can kind of zoom out, see where you've been, see what areas are hot, things like that. Just because I know someone might ask to set this for your deal finders, you click the little edit button and there's a use preset for deal finders toggle. Just toggle that on. You can only have one preset for them. So that's just something to be aware of. Were there any questions, other questions about the map portion, Hannah, that I didn't address?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay. So leads, this is kind of where you do everything. Get in a system of using lists and tags. They're super helpful. I was just talking to someone on there about tags. If you find really, really hot ones that you're just like, these leads are like priority, make a tag that says priority. And how you can do that is you can just click on this little edit button and you can create a tag from here. That's priority 1. I also have a video on how to do a hack on keeping up and keeping task management, because we are going to be having that, but I figured out a hack to like kind of work around that. But you can sort through your lists. My virtual driving for dollars leads are in my virtual driving for dollars lists. And what I do is after I virtually drive for dollars, I go to filter leads and I go by date added. And in the last 24 hours, I select all of them and then I add to my driving for dollars list, which you can do right here. So you can bulk edit pretty much actually anything. You can change the status. Please, if you want to deal with DealMachine, change the lead status to 1 and contact us, because I want to do a success call with you and give you a free hat. You can start mailers. You can change your mailers. The video we just put out shows how to do repeat mails for different types of properties. You can export your leads. You can permanently delete. Tons of stuff to do here. Filters. I feel like I'm sorry, I need a drink of water really quick.
Go for it.
You can import a list here. So you just press this button here. We do now have it to where you can import any phone numbers or email addresses you may have had previously on other lists that you can import. We will not duplicate properties, but we'll update them with any other new data you may provide through that upload. You can also edit columns. This is basically like just a really great spreadsheet. You can move these, you can, edit them to show what you want to see. You can, there's lead status. You can sort it by lead status. You can sort it by property address. You can sort it by owner's first name, owner type, all the sorting.
And also, Elise, I don't know if you mentioned this, but if you guys don't have DealMachine, you can still sign up to use leads. It's actually our CRM. So our CRM is free to anyone. So sign up if you haven't. I'll drop a link because it's super helpful, but it's basically just the leads tab for anyone.
Yeah, so you guys can add your leads in here and start using us that way, because we wanted to make it free so anyone could have just a very basic place to put your leads. Though I did love Brent's accordion file folders, because I do use those for things.
I think it's also, though, if you're using DealMachine already, it's all the information's there. So 1, you're saving paper, and then 2, it's all right there and it's easy to update. So it's kind of not like an extra step or an extra thing you need to do.
Yeah, no, I agree. And again, so this part right here showing all leads, I can sort this by my different lists. So you can just pull up those lists, and this has all my list building lists as well. There's a lot, it's a tongue twister. The driving tab is, of course, our street engine. You have all your analytics for that with your team and yourself about the routes you've driven. You can show this with a bigger picture. You can also do that in the leads view. I forgot to say that, but you can change it to a larger image. And then you can click in here to see the actual route. You can also filter it by person, date, things like that. And then this is where you also find your drivers. So I have a lot of drivers. You can change if they're admin or partner, if you're on professional or enterprise. And then if you're on enterprise, you actually get a landing page to recruit drivers. And we give you a whole training portal to send. So basically it's, you send this link here and they just type in their information, go through the training videos that you enabled. And then we have it to where once they sign up, they get this welcome email from you that all of this is customizable. You can even import your own videos to be in this training portal. So that's that. Do you have, am I missing anything so far as I move along?
No, but I wanted to give a shout out to Anthony Molina because he is actually one of David's drivers and he's joining us tonight. And he just said, DealMachine is an amazing app. And he's like, even though I'm not using it to my advantage right now, the app is very well organized, super easy to use. Can't wait to invest into DealMachine in the future when I have more knowledge on wholesaling.
Anthony, I'd love to drive with you. I drove with Nate and recorded it. So if you're comfortable with that, let me know. But thank you. That's so exciting. I love it. I know that David has his meeting with you guys tomorrow as a team, so that's exciting. Okay, well, then I'm going to just move to list engine. This is our second engine that we have, and it is a list builder. I kind of showed that earlier, what it can do. But this also, if you don't have list engine, this is going to also have just all your lists from right here, my bulk import. I have my organic ones that I've done. So I can click build list. And what's really cool is you can do by zip code, city, and then this is my favorite only because it's just super fun. You get to literally draw over an area. How cool is that? And then it's the same thing. You get to put whatever kind of filters you want on it. You can rename it. And then the coolest part is this smart list feature right here. So what this is when you toggle this on, every Monday we get updated data on whether like homes have sold and things like that. We will be having notifications going out for it, but just so you know, your data is being updated. And so you turn this on, anything that we get that doesn't match, if a house does not match, it's not an absentee owner anymore, let's say, it'll be taken off of this list automatically once we update our data every week. So I can be assured that this list is going to be up to date all the time. And whatever I don't want in there that does not match this criteria is not going to be in there. So that's super awesome. Also, I do love the cute little preview. I don't know if cute is the right word, but this little preview down here that tells me how many leads there are in this section. I want to make sure there's so much. So I know this is a lot, everybody. Please go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, do push notifications because we have a ton of these tutorials because I know this is a lot. Okay, mailers, templates, create all the templates you want. I recommend Blocks template and I love this full template. So you would go to create new template, postcard. We do have ballpoint letter options for you. It is a handwritten letter with a ballpoint pen that a cute little machine writes with the pen in its hand. It's really cool. Check out our YouTube video. It's unbelievable. So you select the style and then you can change any of this. We have smart like address enter here, change the colors to match your brand, choose what signature you want. And then this is new. I have not seen this yet. So this is new. So now in the template, say you didn't want the picture of the house on it, you wanted a different picture, you can now upload an image to show on this template every time. I didn't know that. So we're all learning together. I'm actually going to screenshot this and make sure everyone knows. Okay. So there you go. And then you would just create a new template, and you can also clone the template once it's created. So then you can also do campaigns, which is a drip campaign that I showed earlier. Signatures is where you go in and you add your photo, any of your contact information, things like that. And then more is your team for your CRM. So like I said, or like Hannah said, you get the free CRM, you still get team members to be on there. Get free leads is your referral code. You get $5 for every, and the other person gets $5 when they sign up with DealMachine. Settings. You can get your badges, which I love. And then default mailing options, which you can then set up your repeat mail. Property tags, you can manage all the property tags that you have and what your team has access to. Stop all sending, automatically send mailers. I would try not to do that just because that just, it gives me anxiety if I don't have monitoring over what I send out. Dark mode, which I love, but it does not show up very well on lives and these live streams, so I don't use it on there. Street Pick, which is available as an add-on, and then badge notifications. Also, something that some people may not know, when you open the app, I know it defaults to the dashboard, but you can actually change it to be on the map, your leads, or list engine in settings. And then last but not least,
before you go on, can you scroll down and more really quick again? Someone asked, what's the difference between partner and team?
Oh, partner is if you are an affiliate with us. So I'm an affiliate because I work for DealMachine, and so I signed up to be a partner because I had 20 plus people sign up through my link. So if you're interested in being a partner, please let us know. We can get you in touch with our VP of partners.
And that is Deal Finder, partner in Deal Finder. That was from Elizabeth. She just mentioned it again.
Oh, between partner and Deal Finder. Okay.
Sorry.
My bad.
No, my bad.
So partner with team is you have limited access, but you have more. So this is my boyfriend. He is a partner. He is not an admin. It's not that I don't trust him. It's just that he doesn't need all the options. So he can see other team members' properties because I know he's not going to steal them, but he cannot approve mail. He can skip trace. He can't edit or create templates, and he cannot export. But if I wanted him to, I can toggle. If you choose admin, they can do pretty much actually literally everything on your account. Deal Finder, you have them just add properties. They can't see owner information. They can't see any other properties that other people have added. They can't use your money, nothing. Like, it's just adding properties. Did I answer that?
Yeah, no, that was great. Elizabeth, yes, she said thank you. Thanks,
okay, good. And then guys, my favorite thing is our help and support chat. We are on 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 days a week, and we are here to help you. We have added some more people to that. So we are here for you guys all the time. Well, not all the time, because we do give them a break so people can sleep. But we are here for you guys to support you and help you. So if any technical questions about anything, please feel free to reach out to us through help and support. We answer under 5 minutes, and we just want to be able to support you and help you get to making all the monies, all the deals. What I miss?
Yeah, I'm going through. Also, I'm going to do a shameless plug, as I do sometimes, but I know some of you talked about building a team and deal finders in the chat. And if you are at a point where you're wanting to build your street team and you're ready to really take this to the next level, sign up for the Build a Street Team Challenge. The next one starts on Monday, so don't miss out if you're ready for that. Sign up. It's $99, and you get so many benefits and things with that. So check it out. Oh, it's dealmachine.mykajabi.com. And I know I put it in the chat. Kajabi.
DealMachine.mykajabi.what?
.com.
Hannah's so patient with me. Here it is. For REI operators who want high ROI leads, accountability for their team, and predictability with way less marketing spend.
Yeah, so check that out. And if you're like, yeah, that's totally me, sign up. Because again, I don't know how much longer we're going to be offering this course, and it has some really amazing information in it. So I just wanted to mention that to you guys that are still on here, because I know you guys are all dedicated here. But if you're not to that level, don't. So anyways, back to you, Elise.
No. Brings back good times. That's all I really had. Tomorrow, like I said, live at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am driving for dollars. Super excited. Also, check out our YouTube channel, subscribe, notifications. And thank you guys so much for being on. We had so much fun. Also, check in Monday, because I'm going to call Boris back and figure out what he's doing with those properties. So, and do your challenge. I did it. You do it. And make sure you do the challenge. Get on Instagram. Give us a shout out and Brent Daniels a shout out in your stories, and we will repost you.
100%. Yeah, and if you don't feel comfortable recording it, just take a picture of yourself like, hey, I did it, and do it. Like, don't fake it. Just do it.
Accountability partners. You can do it. You can do it. What is just do it.
That's something. Yeah.
That's something.
Well, guys, any other questions?
I don't know how to get back here. Can I stop sharing? Here, stop sharing. There we go. Oh, it's so good to see. Good night, Betty, Elizabeth, everyone. Thank you guys so much. And yes, this recording will be on tomorrow on the YouTube channel. So don't miss it. Like I said, go subscribe and turn on notifications.
Wait, Eric had a last minute question. How much do mailers cost, letters versus postcard? So he means the ballpoint letters versus postcard. Eric, we're going to answer you before we go away.
Yeah, we are. So, okay, mailers for basic and professional are 55 cents. Ballpoint letters are $1.75. On enterprise, it is $1.47 for ballpoint letters, and it's 49 cents for mailers. Okay.
Cassie said, I feel like it's too late to cold call. It might be wherever you are, but there's tomorrow. Like
I just did it at 8 o'clock at night. You can do it.
Yeah. Whatever you want to do.
All right. Thanks, guys, so much. Have a great night and stay safe and healthy, and we'll see you all later.
All right. Bye.